So I'm Gabrielle Watson. I'm running for state representative in District 3, which is Moulton Borough and Madison and Tamworth. You know, when I think about when we decided to move to New Hampshire, bought our house around 15 years ago, we really fell in love with Tamworth and the community there because it had the sense of vibrancy. You know, there's this farmers market that's wonderful, there's a theater that's wonderful, there are all these sort of institutions in town, churches and community groups. But it became clear over time that most people are working 2 and 3 jobs just to make ends meet. And that's a hard reality. And part of that is like we just don't have enough small businesses in town. And why is that? You know, it's hard to start a business. It's hard to find people to work for you. You talk to business owners, like they can't get good employees that stick around. Well, why is that? Well, nobody can afford housing. You know, it's like really hard to find a place to live that you can afford that's decent. You know, we know people in Moulton Borough who are living in their grandparents' basement. You know, it's like that's what some people have to do in order to find a place to live and be able to stay in this region. And what we want is for people to be, you know, we want the kids to stay, we want them to raise their families here, and it's heartbreaking. So there's been an underinvestment in housing for decades, and that's why our vacancy rate is so low and the prices are sky high, not only for buying a house but for renting too. So we need a major investment in housing, basically at all levels, because the more housing we have, the more the market is able to respond to the demand that's out there, and so the prices ultimately come down and make it more accessible. But that's a big investment that needs to happen, and the state needs to play a role in that. I mean, I would love to see more businesses setting up shop in our communities, because the more businesses we have, the more job opportunities there are. But it's really hard to set up shop here if you can't find somebody to work for you. And that, I mean, I think there's such an opportunity there too, because we do have like older housing stock that's being underutilized that could be renovated and made energy smart and, you know, made accessible again as housing units. In fact, there's a nonprofit up in Conway that's doing this, and they find old buildings that have basically been abandoned, and if they're structurally sound, they do an entire rehab. They insulate them, they put in efficient heating and cooling systems, they put solar on the roofs, and now they make rental units available on the market again. And that's what we need. We need that like times 10 in every single community, because we want people to stay here. You know, we have this amazing place where we live. You know, the lakes, the mountains, the streams.
It's spectacular.
Yeah.